A Home for Alice, written by Gloria Cook, read by Emma Powell. The moral right of the author has been asserted. Chapter 1. Bang, bang, shudder, thump. Fierce winds driving in off the downs were harassing the front gate in a series of nerve-jarring thuds and jerks. The solid wood gate could not simply have blown open. It had been made and set by craftsmen, and it would take a far stronger tempest to loosen the iron latch. Someone had opened the gate and neglected to shut it. Until now, the howling down the chimneys and whistling round the corners of the sprawling, isolated property, Chai Hemver, had not bothered Rachel Kivell as she sat in the snug office of the 6-bedroom cottage, built fortress strong, as was the carpentry workshop, stores and stable across the backyard. Let nature do its worst, she thought. Slates could be replaced, downed posts righted, and the garden she was so proud of was protected by stone walls, trees, willow fences and privet and box hedges. She was eager to finish the business paperwork, to slip up to her room and reread James Lockley's love letters, every one of his loving messages to her, permeated with wonderful promises. To dream about the future they would have together. That was as soon as James, the village doctor, had found a way clear of the one complication that stood in their way. Putting down her pen, tapping her fingers on the knee-hole desk, she waited for the untimely caller to knock. A harsh gust drew the wildly dancing flames in the register grate to leap towards the chimney top, sending back down soot and debris to scatter on the rug. The wood smoke made Rachel cough and stung her eyes. She dashed off a note to send for the chimney sweep, since she oversaw the domestics for her brother Jowan and their cousin Thad, master carpenters and cabinet makers, the owners of the business. The gate slammed against the immovable granite post. Rachel heaved a sigh. Why no summons at the door yet? Whoever was imprudent enough to arrive on business or to call on her in this heathen weather was taking their time. Her impatience vanished as quickly as it had taken a hold. It might be James. He might have dropped his doctor's bag or something, causing the delay. She lived in hope that he might turn up at any moment. She jumped up and fussed with her appearance in the hall mirror. Her lynx-eyed, flushed reflection shone back at her, proof of how James made her feel. Happy and warm, and so excited that sometimes she could hardly breathe. Since falling in love with him, she daydreamed about him all the time. Jowan and Thad teased her laughingly about being so absent-minded. They would be furious if they knew the real reason behind it. At the door, she twisted round a silver bracelet on her wrist in anticipation. But there was no knock. It wasn't James. He would never loiter, playing games. The disappointment was crushing. She would never get used to it, but it was something she willingly endured. James could not be easily available to her. He had a busy profession, and he had a wife. In times like this, her eyes lost their fierce blueness, and her shoulders flopped. She raised her eyes accusingly to the ceiling, where she could hear Dora, the daily general housemaid, making the beds. I suppose I'll have to see to the gate. You certainly don't intend to. When she had hoped it was James, she would have been dismayed to hear Dora coming down, since she was apt to babble and pry. Rachel knew Dora's reasoning. The woman wasn't lazy, but she refused to do anything outside her province, and that included the front garden. Rachel couldn't blame Dora for not wanting to venture outside. She had complained that she'd been blown along every inch of the road from the nearby village of Merion, the copper mining community where she lived. "Air out there's as thick as porridge and as dark as Hades," she declared. "Something sinister lurking in it, if you ask me." "I can well believe it," Rachel muttered, shrugging on her short coat and wrapping a shawl over her head. She took a deep breath and braced herself.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?